Welcome back to the show. Today we've got Jill Lublin with us, the public and publicity, really the mavis of the industry. She will teach you and your company how to be seen, get your message out there. It's an exciting show to get. Anytime you get time with Jill, you are going to watch what a powerhouse she is, and it's exciting. So Jill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anthony. Delighted to be here with you and all of you watching.
When we look at people and ask people, hey, what's your message? I feel like most people have no idea what their message is and what they're trying to get out to the world. And let's kind of dive into that right away and help people identify what their message is.
Well, great news for all of you. I've got a really simple formula. Listen up and take some notes because your message is all about what's the problem you solve in the world. I didn't ask you what you do. This is the default pattern. I want you to get interrupted right now and say and be with the message called what's the problem out there? That's the main message. And then give 3 solutions. And I mean 3 why. People can remember in 3s. Make them simple, keep it easy, and keep it in 5-year-old language. That's your message formula and a very good nugget. Notice I delivered that quickly, and that's what I want you to do. A little bit of practice, it can be yours.
Well, I find when I talk to entrepreneurs, they get really complicated about it. I'm like, stop. You have a clear message. You have a very short attention span, especially nowadays. People are literally in the scrolling mentality just to get their attention and go, hey, I want you to see my message. Ultimately, I want you to help me. I want you to buy, right? So you're really selling to the problem that you're solving.
Yes, and getting right there. Remember that the media doesn't have a lot of bandwidth either. They want you to deliver in short segments. An average major media interview is like 4 minutes and sometimes less. So I want you to come out swinging, have a powerful message, and bring people in right away so that your impact and influence can be seen and heard and felt.
And when we're talking about having that clear message, look, there's so many places to have a message, right? I try to coach folks every day. Like every social media platform is different, right? And they cater to a different audience, but there's still, you want to focus on what is the message that you're putting out there, and tailor and build it for that platform.
Yeah, exactly. This is really the point. Yes, and I also want you to have a consistent message. And in other words, the message you put on one platform will be similar to the message you put on others. I want you to be congruent and resonant with your own message, but also be congruent out in the public. And I think that actually is important. Yeah, you might have a little bit different language depending if it's TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. It is a slightly different language and appeal. And frankly, time frame too. So, but even listen, somebody interviewed me for LinkedIn on a LinkedIn Live the other day, and it was 10 minutes done. There's no long anything anymore. And of course, TikTok's faster. We know that. But I do think short is always better right now. People will listen in more short bursts than long ones. So start there for maximum exposure and quick listening.
Well, I think that as you start to look at you have a course, right? The Publicity Crash Course. Still put that out there?
Yeah, Media Mastery Intensive is also my main thing I'm doing these days, where media actually comes and listens to your pitch. It's amazing.
Right here, and all of that's geared to say, look, you got this small little window. Let's get you up and get to it. Now, what's the hack to making it pop out from all of the other people that are trying to get attention, right? You're in this world of attention. People are coming by you at 30 miles an hour. You need to be able to grab them in this short little window, right? It's kind of like having a storefront where people drive by at 30 miles. What are you doing to do that? What's the hack to get their attention?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm big on what I call visibility building activities. And so one of the hacks is to be consistent and persistent. Interestingly enough, if you spend 30 minutes a week in visibility building activities, what's fascinating, and I don't care if it's in 2 15-minute segments, the point is keep consistently building your visibility. What you're going to find is that people will know your name. They'll go, I call it the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And these visibility building activities include networking, in your community, and I mean virtually or physically in, whatever makes sense for you. I want you on Google Alerts. This is a great hack. And I want you to put your name in there so that way when you're in media, people know, and one word. So for instance, when The Profit of Kindness came out, that's one of my books, I put in the word kindness into Google Alerts. Then I know whenever anybody's writing about kindness, I'm going to talk about it. And the super great thing is because I was in Google Alerts with that word, when The Profit of Kindness came out, I found out that, did you know November 13th is World Kindness Day? Well, I didn't
No.
either
Yeah.
until I put that into Google Alerts. Now we are doing a whole PR campaign around November 13th, as well as in February when it's Random Acts of Kindness Week. So you see where I'm going with this? Like you
Yeah.
want
No, I
to,
got it. Got it.
yeah,
So
you want to know what's up.
let's take that to front and center to an example. I'm a construction company, right? I got this construction company. I want to get seen. I want to get my name, my consistent name out there. Look, for us, we're all about delivering on time, delivering on schedule, making sure the customers have a budget they know they can count on. Look, it's a consistent message that says, look, here's what we do to guarantee that. And all the things we point back to are why we turn up on time. Look, our schedules don't start on the day that you show up here. Our schedule started a month before that. Or look, we started working with subs and people and selling the idea and creating the visibility for a project well before they showed up, right? When people get there, it's too late to do something. So we are selling the story about that preparation and how that all works. And all of our media stuff really guides to selling, say, that's why we're on time, right? It all gears to that's why we're on time. And we try to gear everything back to that. Give me some other examples I might use, or some other things you might say to guide me in doing that kind of structure.
Well, let's say for a construction company. Now, I like contrary stories too, like what to watch out for. What are the top three warning signs that, this is not the right company for you? And what are the top three questions you should ask to ensure you've got the right match? That would be great, right? So you talk about being on time and starting, before the job starts. I mean, these are important things to pay attention to. I was working with someone with a care facility and caregiving company, and we were talking about, the news story where the father was, I don't know, something bad happened. Let me just say that. And so I said to her, you better be telling people about the three warning signs to watch out in your caregiver. Sometimes the contrary works actually quite well. And so sometimes you want to take a contrary position just to get noticed. Like just a fun thing to tell you for Random Acts of Kindness Week in February, since I wrote The Profit of Kindness, I'm gonna talk about forget random acts of kindness. Let's practice conscious acts of kindness every single day. So I'm going to take a contrary position to that. Think about that. Isn't that fun? And,
Yeah,
I wrote
yeah,
Guerrilla Publicity. So it's Small Business Week coming up toward the end of November. We're going to go out, how to harvest your business, how to create more publicity for Small Business Week. You see where I'm going? And any of you
yeah.
who have a small business, you can do the same in your marketplace. Talk about being a small business and what it's like. It's not always just waving the flag of here's what we do, here's what we do. It's about giving people, here's two things, value and benefit, and telling them what to do. That's a great thing.
I love it. Having, look, the contrarian point of view, like, look here, why you're not a good fit for each other. Hey, I might say, look, you're not a good fit for us as a client if you don't know what you want, right? Because it doesn't help us to get into a project and have one of these wishy-washy customers that are like, well, look, our schedules are really important. If we're going to deliver on time, we have to have answers that are on time, right? And customers that are still trying to figure out, like, you may not be a great customer for us, right? You might want to find a contractor that operates a little slower and they can put up with that. But once we start, once this train starts going down the tracks, it's tough to stop it. And when we don't get the answers or the information, because there's always stuff that comes up, and I need a customer that understands that relationship and can answer questions quickly. The architectural team, the owner, together they got to really create
Yeah.
synergy in that.
I love that. And so your thing would be, have the right questions for the contractor and be clear about what you want to create, right? And so you're
Yeah.
telling people what to do, how to be a great customer.
Interesting. So,
That's a great PR piece. Absolutely.
so let's get into PR a little bit more. So I love where you're talking about, getting, getting your message clear, right? I think that's one we can, as whatever entrepreneurs are out there, when you're listening, what is your message? What are you selling? Sell to their pain points, right? Sell to what the problem is that that you solve. Now, how do I get my name? I mean, it does me no good if no one sees my message. Jill, I mean, I can't tell you how entrepreneurs that are these little field mouses and they sit there and they're like, I can't believe anybody can't find me. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna need to get out there. You need to get out
Yes.
to the places where they are at and tell us messages. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, this is the part. Publicity is so great because it gets you seen, it gets you heard, and it gets you paid. So the thing I would say, depending if you're, obviously if you're a construction company, you've got to start local. I got good news for all of you is that local press is actually the easiest to get. So, you want to start with your local business journal, your daily paper. If you're in real estate, go to the real estate section. If you're an agent, a construction company, anything having to do with homes, go to the real estate section as an example. You're a coach consultant, go to the money section, go to the entrepreneur section. You're somebody in health, go to the medical section. There are sections of media that are specifically oriented toward who you are and what your company serves. So that's something. I love local press, and here's why. Because interestingly enough, the national shows, you know what they're looking at? Your local ABC, NBC, CBS, radio, and TV affiliates. That's what they're looking at. And they're scanning for good stories, interesting stories, good people to interview. They are scanning that. So start local. I really believe in it. And I've seen great results happen because of it.
So when you say local, talk about what are you talking about local? Are you getting on local TV, local
Yes,
newspapers, local
yes,
magazines?
yes, all of that.
Okay.
TV, radio, magazines, newspapers in the local market. It's a great place to be. And, one great thing is your local media, they need experts just like you to interview. And you're right there. So that's easy.
So is that kind of getting a column, becoming a local expert, becoming a thought expert or a thought leader in the marketplace? Are you saying like find the local magazine or find the local newspaper and write a column? Or are you putting ads out? Talk to me a little bit about which way you go with that, or
Yeah,
all the above.
advertising is not publicity. Advertising is paid for. Publicity is free. It's earned. It's because you're the expert. So for instance, I had an audiologist with I think you call them audiology, the hearing aids. She had a hearing aid center. And she was located in Sacramento and hired me to help create visibility and publicity. And one of the things we did was we had her write a column, exactly one of the things you said, in a more senior magazine. Do you know that one column she writes, which is free every single month, gets her a $5,000 client, pretty much guaranteed monthly plus more. I'm just saying,
Wow,
as a baseline, that's happening every month for her because of one free column. Isn't that amazing? And
that's
I mean,
awesome.
isn't that great? Yes. And that's what I'm talking about. So, if you're serving seniors, great. There are often senior magazines. If you're serving families, there are family publications. But certainly there's the daily paper. Typically, there's the business journal. There's the TV and radio. All of those are good. And then there's podcasts, which is more nationwide, which is what I'm talking to you right now with. All of these are great options for you to create more visibility and publicity quickly in your market.
With all the rapidly changing landscape of media, all the different things that are happening out there, how do you stay up to date with all of the new, the Facebooks, the Instagram, the Twitter, the X, I mean, how do you adjust and how are you incorporating those things into publicity game?
Well, here's the thing. The people who work with me in my media mastery intensives, you get focused on one message, right? Then you repeat that message across multiple platforms, and then you're consistent and you're persistent, you're congruent, which is I think important. And the truth is you don't have to be all things to everybody. You can pick one or two platforms on a social media level that seem right for you, where you're getting real results. I don't work every platform. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and pick some things that work for you, the people you serve, and where is it that you really want to be known and seen, and then get publicity because it's free and you're going to get a lot of leads and referrals right back at you.
I mean, a lot of times I feel like a cat chasing a laser pointer. I'm kind of, which one's going to be what's the space where I'm going to put in, and what's the best result for the minimum input, right? I'm always trying to figure out what the hack is for, is it Instagram? Is it, I'm trying to figure out which of those are best going to suit us and try to double down. Are you saying that
I'm
keep it
talking
well
about
round?
media only. I want you to
Okay.
focus on publicity. With your social media, you can talk to a social media expert, find out which target would be good for you. But from a media perspective, and I'm talking publicity, the free stuff, the newspapers you read, the radio you watch, the headlines on your phone, that's all publicity. That's what we're going after today. That's where your profits are going to be. And frankly, I've seen people sell 42, actually, a woman sold 42 self published books in a 15-minute podcast. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice. I know. Look, that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking to make
Yes.
that kind of impact. Get on a podcast, find a way to sell it. Get to the audience that's going to best suit the book that you're writing, and now all of a sudden that deal flow starts to happen.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's
Well, I
what
know
we're
we're
all
coming
looking
to
for.
the end of our time here, but may I give all your listeners something?
Sure. Yeah. Love it.
I would love to. So here's the thing. I know we've been talking publicity, and I created a great publicity guide for you, which is chock filled of real things you can do, even more than we had time to talk about today. And then on top of that, I'm giving you a publicity masterclass free and interactive with me to ask any questions that you need. So come on to that too. It's on Zoom, all easy, just for you and completely free. So you check it out. You go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. And I'm sure they'll put that in the show notes. It's publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift.
Awesome. Audience members, you guys know, look, all of our guests, let's make sure we go out there and support Jill Lublin and the work she's doing. Look, becoming experts on publicity. Jill is that person that's going to guide you. It's amazing the work she's done. She's legendary in the industry. Jill, it's been so great having you on.
Thank you, Anthony. Delightful to be with you. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Audience members, I'm grateful for you. Last week we had an amazing breakthrough, 35,000 YouTube subscribers on YouTube alone. The breakthroughs that we're having are great, but I noticed that some of you guys weren't subscribers yet. You made it to the end of a video. You're watching it. You're doing such a great job of joining us, but weren't like and subscribe yet. If you could take a second and like and subscribe right now, it gets us great guests like Jill Lublin and her team and the work that they do. It really does help us with the numbers, and it also helps support all the people in the background that they know they're doing a good job of finding great guests, Alyssa and Joe and our whole team in the background. So if you could like and subscribe now, I would be so grateful. And as always, thanks for listening.